Welcome everybody to Roy Khan PC Gaming. It's your host Roy Khan. So check it out. I want to talk today about Forza's Horizon 5. I told you guys before I love my race car games, and so I've been having fun. I finally got to kind of just enjoy myself playing Horizon 5 this weekend. I got about a good 3 hours of constant play, and I told you before I use a wheel. I use a Logitech G923, I believe, or something like that, 923. So I use that. I've got the pedals, the wheel. I do not have the shifter set up, so I'm not using that, and it's hooked up to my desk. I don't have a full setup yet, but that's because I don't have the space for it, and eventually when I have the space, I'll deal with all that. For the time being, I have what I have, and I enjoy it. So I want to talk about Horizon 5 because I really think they really went above and beyond this time. They are definitely moving in the right direction. And so the first thing I like to talk about is I'm playing the game and I started to realize what was going on with the force feedback. And I started to realize that if I read a little bit more with my adjustments of the force feedback, I could really start honing in and tuning in that feel that I wanted. So I was like, okay, I'm going through it and I started getting that feel that I wanted out of the game. And then let me tell you what I felt. So I'm driving, of course, in first person view in the cockpit. Excuse me, I'm driving from the cockpit's view, and I have the steering wheel not in view because I'm using my steering wheel in front of me to view. So I've got that there, and I don't see the steering wheel. So I'm driving, and I'm in the races, and then when I hit a corner and I come out the corner, I literally feel the wheel wobble, like I feel a jerky wobble, and then I feel a loss of traction, and then I tap the brake, hit the gas, tap the brake, hit the gas, trying to regain control while trying to align that wheel straight. Now, if I took my hand off the wheel, I did this a few times, and to see what happens is you lose control of a car. So, I'm going to say in my younger years, I kind of did some crazy driving, and I know what a car feels like when you break traction. I know what a car feels like when you slide it. Again, dumb years, I've done some dumb things. And so I know what these things feel like. And it was close. It was really close. It's a little rougher, depending on the type of vehicle you're driving. And I've never driven the vehicles that I'm driving in the game. I've just driven the vehicles I drove in my younger years when I was a little more reckless and hot-headed and stupid. Let's just say stupid. I was a lot stupider. So I noticed that, it's like, wow, wait a minute, what's happening here? It's like, oh my God, I'm literally having to brake and accelerate, and compensating the wheel to not lose it. And I was like, oh my God. Then I'm in a rear-wheel drive Lamborghini, and I'm like, it's only Class A. I didn't put any power on it or anything like that. I just really wanted to drive the car, so I did a little bit of tuning with it, and we're going to talk about that too. So I'm driving the car with some mild tuning, not even understanding the details of the tuning yet, but it's a mild tuning, and I keep feeling that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, man, this really makes racing something else. This took racing to another level for me, because it was like, now I have to focus not only to be competitive, but to keep the car from losing control, right? So it's like, oh my God, like this is where it's at. So it became a challenge. First off, it's a challenge. This is not a controller in my hand. This is a steering wheel with force feedback. And I finally got my force feedback to a point where it nearly feels close to driving what I felt driving when I was younger on the roads. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh my God, this is so close. So I'm going through the motions with all this stuff. Then I'm like, well, now I need to figure out how to really tune this car so I can actually win a race, because right now I'm just getting my butt kicked because I'm fighting to keep control of the car. And I don't mean, like, oh my God, I came out the corner too fast and I accelerated too much type stuff. No, that's just like, I'm talking about, like if you're going too fast and you make a slight jerk to the wheel at the wrong time, you tend to lose the wheel a little bit, and you got to bring the car back into your control. So then after doing the force feedback, I said, okay, I'm going into the settings and I'm gonna start tuning this car. So I actually go into the suspension settings, dampen settings, and I'm reading through all this stuff thoroughly, thinking back to what I was feeling in the steering wheel. And this is when it all hit me. I was like, wait a minute. So if I'm going to now adjust this to what I felt in the steering wheel, I think I have a better way of setting this car up or tuning this car to handle. So I spent some time doing that, and this was really incredible and fun. I just want you guys to understand. I don't care if it's not a real sim. I don't care if people don't like the game. I'm telling you about the fun that I had and where I think Forza Horizon 5 really outdid themselves. So I went through their tuning. And I was at the part where I was tuning, what was it? The camber. I maybe tuned the camber. The camber was way up at the point in time to like a 7.0 or a 5.0. So I brought that thing all the way down to 0.05 front, 0.05, 0.05 left, 0.0 right, or 0.05 front, 0.05 back. And I went and changed the caster. I brought the caster up a little bit more. I didn't touch the toe. No, I think I touched the toe. I didn't touch the camber. I think it was the toe I adjusted, but either way, I can't remember. I'm just telling you now, based on what I remember. So anyways, I went through those adjustments, then I went into the suspension. I was like, okay, well, it kind of felt to me like I was the rear of the car had a little more jerk to it, so I tried to soften the sway bars in the back a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to give it a little more of a roll, not something stiff that'll just slide. And so then I go through the dampening, the rebound, and I start adjusting that to make it a little more softer, you know what I'm saying, because I'm realizing when I come out of the corner, you know what I'm saying, I don't want it to just slide and be too stiff. I wanted a little softer where just a little kick and roll, and I could pull the wheel back without the wheel jerking around. So I go through all these settings and I'm going through all these motions and I'm testing the car, and then finally I'm driving the car and I feel it all. I got it tuned so well that I literally felt everything that was happening through the wheel, and I was like, this is unbelievable that they would think to pay attention. Which then I said, did they really do the tire deformation in the settings? Because you know, when you watch a replay, you can see the deforming of the tire, and I was wondering, did they add that into the game? I have to look that up. But either way, when I'm playing the game, after learning and realizing that all this stuff means something now, I need to, because I don't have a controller in my hand, I need to take the time to tune this car for the races that I'm doing. I was like, oh man, so this means I literally have to take the time to tune each car so it feels the way I want it to feel. And I have a generic setting for road racing now from going through all that procedure. So, you know, like now I try to use a 4-wheel drive combination. A rear-wheel drive is fun, but it's not really, in my opinion, it's not that great for road racing. Maybe at a high-end speed it might be good for something, and I know it's good for drifting. I don't do either of those, but to me, I believe that when you're doing a track race or a road race, all wheels is kind of the best way to go, because you got power in the front and the back, and you can adjust how much power the front has and how much power the back has. So to me, that's wonderful. So now my new idea that I'm running with, and it's just my idea, if you guys have better ideas, you can post them in the comments below and share your thoughts, and then we can talk about it. But it's just my idea now that when I build cars, like, you know, I ended up taking my Lamborghini Countach, I think it is. I ended up taking that Lamborghini, and then I turned into a 4-wheel drive. After I got done doing all that tuning, I turned into a 4-wheel drive, then I retuned it, and I was like, oh wow, I really enjoy this thing. And it was still a Class A. You know, I don't have no freaking, I'm not into that super duper high speed stuff. I just kind of want to enjoy road racing. That's the type of stuff I'm into. So, you know, it's Class A, 800, and so I'm enjoying the races with it. And I said, okay, well, you know, I went and got a Skyline, an older Skyline. I said, let me just see how this feels. And I Class 8 that, and I did some races with that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm really, really enjoying what they did. Now, of course, I will gradually move up, I'll move into the S class and then S1 and S2. Yes, I'm going to eventually move up, but there's no fun in me just doing that. Like, there's no fun. Me personally, I enjoy going to do the races. I want to do the street races. I've done some dirt races. It's pretty cool too. I'm still going through a learning phase with how to drive dirt tracks, because I'm telling you, not knowing and trying to learn to tune that, you can really lose control, and you don't want to be losing too much control when you're actually in a competitive race. So at this point, it's all just a learning phase. So I'll be going through all this learning stuff, especially with this game. And I'm just saying, if Forza Motorsport, the new Motorsport that's coming out, if they use this setup for the vehicles, I can definitely see a lot of time being spent in motorsport, because one, I love track racing. I do love dirt racing too. It's very fun. I'm trying to learn it, master it. But I can definitely see where the racing game experience is going. So I really wanted to share that with you all. I had a great time spending a couple hours in Horizon 5. I will be spending more time in the game and learning more about the game and about the races. I know a lot of people keep up with the news on it. I haven't kept up with the news on it. I follow people to keep up with the news on it, because I don't have time to do the news. I got so much stuff going on. But I just want to share my opinion and some of the thoughts that I had, and the experience I'm having with it. Forza Horizon 5, it really shaped up to be a great game. I don't know how they top this. Well, actually, I do, and I'll just share this and then end it. How they could top this? What they could do is continue to move through the lower half of North America by increasing the map. I know that'll make the game very big. I get it. But I'm sure you can cap the game somewhere around 125, 150 gigs. I would love to see them open the map up, going north and going further south. And then I would love to see them link the games. You know what I'm saying? Like, where some races might require you to go back to Forza Horizon 4 to complete some races. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could always look into the future and say, okay, so we have some races at this place. Well, no, they wouldn't need to do that, because again, each game, as long as they keep Forza Horizon 4 in existence, you can always go back to that part of the world if you like racing that part of the world. I do hope to see a Japan version, Asia version of Forza Horizon. I definitely want to see that in the future, but for the time being, I hope that this year they expand upon the map that they have, add more races, and just make the map, use more of the map. Add more races and stuff, because I haven't tried the multiplayer online yet, but I want to get into that, and I'm hoping, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm hoping it'll bounce me race to race to race when I get into log into a room of racing. So anyways, that's my thoughts on it. I enjoyed the game. Hey man, share your comments below. Till next time.